So greetings from Pennsylvania once again today, and it is a cold December afternoon. It's December 19th. Doing something a little bit different today. Recently I've started, I'm trying to get to every state park in Pennsylvania, do a lot of state park camping, but recently I tried camping in several spots here in the state forest here in Pennsylvania. We did Michaud State Forest, and up here in Weiser State Forest we did some camping, and started to like those campsites. I plan on doing a lot more of that this summer. I'll talk a little bit more about these campsites in this video, but you can reserve online, which is cool, but they show just a tiny little picture of what the campsite looks like, and they give a little bit of a description sometimes, but I'm kind of curious myself what these campsites all look like. Because like I said, when you reserve online, they have just a tiny little picture, which doesn't tell you a whole lot. So the goal of this video and future ones, I plan on doing quite a few of these, is to check these campsites out and see what they actually look like in person before I actually reserve them online. And I'm doing this for myself just as much as I'm doing it for you guys. I want to educate myself to what all these sites look like. There's some, that I probably never choose to camp at due to the fact how open they are and other things. So, like I said, I'm doing this for my own education and for yours as well. And like I said, these campsites are reservable online here in the different state forest districts. It's $10, but there's a reservation fee of like $6, so it's about $16 altogether to have a night up here in the state forest, which actually isn't too bad money-wise. It's a lot cheaper than most state parks and other places. So let's go take a look. We're here in Weiser State Forest, the Port Clinton Tract. There's different tracks for Weiser State Forest. Like I said, in the future I plan on doing other state forests like Michaud and stuff like that. But there's just 5 campsites up here that we're going to explore today. And one of those I camped at earlier this year. I think it was the last site that I camped at. But anyway, we're going to hop back in a Jeep. I think the next clip is going to start when I was driving back down the highway as I'm coming back up in the mountain. Alright, so we just passed Cabela's here, Route 61. Because up ahead you can see the mountain. Up there is where Weiser State Forest is, the Port Clinton Tract. I think there's state game lands up there too. We are headed up there. I think we gotta actually pass Port Clinton up here first. Yeah, now you can see Port Clinton on your left, because that's what this section of the state forest is named after. The Appalachian Trail runs through town here too. Right, just a little ways out of town will be the state forest road that takes us up to the camping sites. Yeah, just up ahead is the entrance. You can kind of see that road kind of going up off to the right. Actually, I think we can turn in right here. Yeah. And up we go. Port Clinton Tract, Weiser State Forest. It's kind of a bumpy road up to the top. There's something to keep in mind though, there is no winter maintenance on these roads. As you can see, they're quite bumpy. Still going up though. And some other things to consider with these state forest campsites is they're not all right next to the road. Some are like literally like roadside parking. You park your vehicle and the campsite is right there. Others are more like what they call walk-in sites, where you park your vehicle by the road, but you have to walk in a certain distance to where the campsite is. Sometimes it's just like maybe 100 feet, which isn't so bad, but sometimes it's I saw one campsite online, it was like 900 feet to walk to the campsite. So that's something to take into account too. Yeah, but like I said earlier, it's kind of hard to get a really good idea online of what these campsites are like, so I kind of want to get a first-hand experience for myself to choose which ones I want to camp at in the future and which ones I would just prefer to avoid based on what I see. Alright, still going uphill though, but we should be campsite number 1 soon. Yeah, we're definitely going up and up and up. Get some views up here too. I should mention too that the ones here in this tract of State Forest don't really have a name. Some of the ones over in Michaud State Forest have names. Like we camped in the Haunted Hollow earlier this year. That's what the site was called. But these ones up here don't have like names. I think we are pretty close to 1. When I camped up here this past fall, I didn't pass most of these. They are all labeled pretty nicely. Alright. Is this number 1? Yeah, here's campsite number 1. Let's check it out. Yeah, so here's number 1, P1. Yeah, you do need a permit to camp here. Yeah, this one's not bad. I think this one would be considered a walk-in site, but it's not very far walk-in at all. Bit windy up here today, but yeah, I mean, get some views. Maybe not so much in the summertime. Maybe I think you would get a little bit of view in the summertime, but yeah, not a bad little site. I'm trying to listen if you can hear the traffic from Route 61. I don't really hear much, but yeah, not a bad little site. Of course, you do have your picnic table and the fire pit. I guess you could put your tent right here, or I mean anywhere. You can put your tent back here anywhere too. Actually, I can hear the traffic from Route 61. It's not terribly loud though, but it's something to take into account. But yeah, not a bad distance to walk though. I would camp here, actually. Which reminds me, in the comments below, after we've covered, I think there's 5 campsites up here, let me know which one is your favorite that we passed by today or check out today. I'll let you know at the end which one I think is my favorite. Right now, number 1 is, because it's the only one we've been to. Well, I mean, I did camp at number 3 last fall, but anyway, number 1's kind of cozy. The traffic might, I don't always like to hear traffic at night, but when I'm camping, but it doesn't feel too loud. It might be less in the summer. Sometimes the summer foliage and plants tend to muffle the sound of the traffic, whereas in the winter you don't have that blockage. Anyway, yeah, campsite number 1. Just taking another look though. I mean, the area that they have raised up here of this like dirt is not very big. The fire pit's pretty close to the picnic table. Except you're looking, not a whole lot of room for a tent though. If you're looking to put your tent on like here, if you have a bigger tent, but like I said, you could put your tent up anywhere back there too. But just something to consider if you like to put your tent on like an actual pad like this. But anyway, yeah, not bad. Like I said, not too far of a walk back up to your vehicle. And I'll point out too that there is parking for several vehicles here. If you don't just park like I did, if you pull in, you could easily put several vehicles here. So if you're going to camp with other people. Just one last look at it. Campsite number 1 down there. So let's head to campsite number 2, which I think might be the most remote one up here. It's off this. You take another road off of this one. Anyway, let's get there. Right there, well, to campsite 1. Not bad. It looks like it might have a little bit of a view in the summertime even. But onwards to number 2. There are a number of parking for different trails up here too. I did drive by number 2 when I camped up here last fall, but someone was there, so I didn't really stop in at all to look at it. Yeah, so up here is where you turn, I think. Yeah, so a parking area off to our right. Yeah, actually, campsite number 3 is like straight ahead there. But we'll check that out in a little bit. But let's go, we gotta go down this way. This road's a little bit more rougher than the one we've been on. Yeah, caution. Oh yeah, snowmobiles can use this too. Yeah, so campsite number 2 is down this way, a little ways. We see it up ahead here. See like a parking area. What is this? Oh yeah, P2, right here it is. I'll pull over actually over here, I think. Alright, so here's site number 2, up that way. Of course we came down this road. Site number 3 is just actually at the top of that hill. But anyway. So looks like you can, I mean I pulled over right here. But you can, looks like you can drive up here though. Park up here. Yep, P2. Just not sure what the point of all these poles sticking up everywhere is. A bunch there, and a bunch there. So you could get several vehicles up here, parked. Anyway, I don't really like the poles, to be honest. And if they were all black, but I don't know. Like, what are they trying to do? Keep people from driving up that way, I guess? I don't know. I guess you could park up here, too. Once again, you have a picnic table and the fire ring. I guess you could put a tent here. There's not much room elsewhere. There's a nice trail going up there. Nice little log to sit on, I guess, by the fire. Yeah, not sure what I think of 2. I think I like 1 better so far. Maybe I'm just picky, but I'm not a big fan of the poles and stuff. I guess it doesn't look natural. You're out here in state forest, you know, who wants to see it? It looks like you're in a parking lot, like in a mall or something, at Walmart or something. I don't know. They just feel out of place. You can let me know what you think about the poles. Am I just being picky, or do you feel the same way? Or do you feel the same way I do? Like they just, I don't know. I feel like they don't really need to be here anyway. But anyway, not that it's going to ruin your camping experience, but anyway. But anyway, this is campsite number 2. I feel like campsite number 1 just had a little bit more room for your tent and stuff, depending on how many people come. But kind of cozy. All right. It's you're a little bit off the road more than site number 1, I think, maybe. I don't know. All right. Actually, probably about the same. With number 1, you did have to walk a little ways up. But here's number 2. You can park right up here, though. Yeah, just kind of realized that at site number 1, you had to walk about this distance, and you park down by the road. But here, if you don't want to walk as far, You can just park right here. You can just park right by the poles here and unload your stuff right to your site. All right. All right, but I think I still like site number 1 better. Site number 2 is the only one down this road. The road kind of dead ends down that way, the gate. But yeah. So if you want a little bit more privacy, number 2 might be for you, because if you camp on the main road, the other road that was up there, that road gets more traffic. So you'd have to deal with more cars driving by than you would down this way. So that's something to keep in mind too. I don't know. Number 2 is kind of growing on me a little bit. But anyway, let's head to number 3. We've been, like I said, I was at number 3 early this fall, camped there, but let's go check it out again. See how it compares to the others. All right, we'll head back up to that intersection. And site number 3 was right there. And you can, like, once again, you see how the roads are, just consider that depending on what type of vehicle you have. Once again, there's no winter maintenance either, so if there's a foot of snow out there, there's going to be a foot of snow on these roads. These sites are open all winter long, but it's not that way in all state forests, though. Yeah, right here's that intersection, and site number 3 is right here. And of course, this should look familiar. Like I've been saying, this is where we camped back in, was it November maybe? So once again, they have all these poles here. I remember when I came here first time, I didn't like them, but I think it's just to prevent people from parking like right down in the campsite. But anyway, you can pull in right here. It is a bit steep just right here, something to consider too. But yeah, there's plenty of parking down here for several vehicles. A larger area though for, of course you have your picnic table and your fire pit, but you have all this whole area back here to put up tents and stuff, multiple tents. I think I put mine back there. Yeah, right there somewhere. So plenty of room at this site, plenty of shade too, because all our sites have had shade so far. They haven't been out in the open sun. Because for me, that's one of the big things, especially in the summertime. I want to be in the shade. So far, all these sites are been surrounded by trees and woods, so they're all shaded. All right. Yeah, I think I like site number 3 the best. Not just because I camped here, but I mean, I did spend a lot of time when I was reserving this site looking at the tiny little pictures online to see which one I liked, and this one kind of stuck out. I like the fact that there's plenty of room here. You don't feel like scrunched in. Some of their sites are pretty. Yeah, the first two sites were a little bit smaller, but there's plenty of room here at this one. Especially like if you're gonna have camping with other people. Even though I wasn't camping with other people here, but still. All right. And once again, you have easy access to your car because I parked up there, but you can park right down here. All right. Yeah, site number 3. Yeah, so like I said, I'm still going with site 3 as my favorite one so far. I wasn't planning on site 3 being my favorite, but I think I still like this one. I still could do without these poles, but anyway, whatever. Yeah, I had a good time here that night that I camped here. Looks a little bit different because it's winter time, but yeah. All right, let's head on to site number 4. And farewell, site number 3. Wouldn't mind camping here again. Consider that. Anyway. Yeah, the wheels are kind of turning in my head. Yeah, this might be a good spot. I think about doing like a meetup sometimes where I camp somewhere and I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that yet. This might be a good place for something like that. Anyway. There's just some other awkwardness associated with that. If you post it online that you're camping at a certain spot, who knows? You might have nice people show up, but you might have other people show up too that are not so nice, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's get going on. Get back into the warmth of the Jeep. It's cold out here. All right, onwards we go. And so far, none of these are ones that I wouldn't camp at. Both 1 and 2 seem like nice options. course, this is only 15 minutes from where I live, so that makes it a nice option for a quick place to go camping. You know, I could reserve online quick and just head out here. So you might see me camping at 1 and 2 next year. We'll see. Let's see what number 4 looks like. I did drive past 4 and 5 on another trip I took up here. I forget what 4 looked like though. 5, I don't think I was too impressed with number 5, but we'll see. All right, let's keep our eyes open for number 4. Well, that's just a trail. All right, they had those ugly poles there again. Yeah, unfortunately, those poles are put up to keep people from doing stupid stuff up here. You always have those kinds of people that'll drive their vehicles in places they're not supposed to, and who knows what. So they gotta do it, I guess. Is this 4? Oh yeah, right here's 4. Oh, 4 looks kind of nice. Yeah, so here's number 4. Yeah, for some reason I remembered it being on this side of the road, but yeah. Here's another one where the parking is right next to the road. You can, once again, fit 2 vehicles in here easily enough. And there's only one ugly pole here. Site number 4. Yeah. Of course, you have your fire ring and picnic table. So say there's not a ton of room for a tent here, but they have sites. You can put a tent back there, one back there. And it does look like they logged the woods on the other side here, but right around in this area there's still trees, so this will still be shaded here. So less some firewood there. Yeah, 4's kind of nice actually. I don't know, it just had a nice feel when I pulled up. Oh, someone left a tennis ball there. Probably a dog here. Yeah, so there are other tent sites. Yeah, not bad. Like I said, you are right there. Just a short little walk in, but not much at all. Yeah, in the wintertime, you get a view out that way in the valley. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't hear any traffic up here or anything. I didn't hear anything at 3 or 2 either, traffic noise. But I think in the summertime, you wouldn't really get a view down there. Actually, hold on a second. Maybe if you went down here. There's a little trail here. Let's quick go down here. You could get a nice, whoops. You know, you could get a nice sunset or sunrise. This is facing to the south. Ooh. I mean, it's all logged out here. Looks kind of ugly, but you get some nice views here in the evening. Here's a nice little log to sit on. Besides the carnage that's out here. But yeah. The sun would sunrise out that way. You could watch the sun set out that way. You know, that's a plus. And right up there is the campsite, just a short little walk down. I'm liking number 4 here, folks. Yeah, so like I said, I'll definitely be camping up this way again. I think number 4 is when I choose the next one. That's a plus, just being able to look out there. Like I said, to get some awesome, ooh, that wind is cold, to get some awesome views. Sunrise, sunset, you can get both just down from your site here. I'm liking that. So we have a new campsite that's in first place. That would be campsite number 4. Yeah, the wheels are turning in my mind now. Nice little, because you don't always get that. Those nice sunrises and sunsets at your campsite. Yeah. Put my tent right over there. Or maybe back. Oh, who knows? Anyway. Alright. That's site number 4. Alright, let's head out. But like I said, that's the advantage to actually coming out here and looking at them yourself. By looking online, you would never realize that you could get some good, you know, sunset or sunrise views. So I like that. Number 4. All right, we got one more up here. Is site number 5, the Pinnacle Trail. Yeah, you can get to the Pinnacle from here over near Hamburg. All right, site number 5 is on our left, I believe. I think I remember this one being a little bit more out in the open. That's just a parking lot there. Oh, is it? No, that's... Oh, no, this is number 5. Let me back up. I don't call it site number 5. They call it PCG1. Not sure why. Yeah. There's camp. We'll call it number 5. It's our 5th site. And more ugly poles, but once again, it's to keep people from driving up there. Yeah, PCG1. I guess PC means Port Clinton. Not sure what the G stands for. Not sure why they have to call it site number 5, but anyway, doesn't really matter. So this one has just a little bit of a walk-in. Not much more than number 1 was. So what this one is, as you can see, is out in the open quite a bit more. So in the summertime, you wouldn't have a whole lot of shade in here necessarily, although those trees are, that's the south, so they would cast shade on your site here at certain times during the day, but it might not be the most shaded location. They got 2 picnic tables here, and then you got, what in the world? Someone left like a little wood stove thing here. I don't know what's going on with that. Huh. No, someone just accidentally left it out here or not. That's cool. I've been thinking about getting one of those. Actually, come to think of it. Huh. I guess you got your tent back here. Got a rock wall back there. That has been something that's been on my mind. It's called hot tent. You get a tent. There's different tents like that. Some are like teepee shaped that have like a little stove jack in the side of the tent. It's called. It's like a little opening surrounded by some non-flammable substance, I guess you could call it. And you could put like a little wood stove like that in the tent to stay warm. Not a big fan of the cold weather or hiking or camping in the cold, but it's something I'm considering. If I could have a wood stove inside and stay warm inside the tent, that might be a plus. But the wheel, once again, it's another thing if the wheels are turning. Sometimes the wheels turn slowly, sometimes they turn faster, but yeah, there's site number, or PCG1 they call it. We'll call it site number 5 though for the sake of the video. But still not a bad little site. Like I said, it's a lot more open than the others, but I guess at certain times during the day though, I think this would be open to the sun. Just trying to picture how, in the winter the sun is lower in the sky, but in the summer, yeah, it's going to be much higher in the sky. You might not get quite as much shade down here. That's the only thing I don't want to. When you're camping in the middle of summer, you want to be in the shade. Like I said, that little stove intrigues me. All right, but I think if you head down this way, you would get some good views too. Like I said, for a sunrise, looking out that way. Yeah, just walking down here. But I think site number 4 would be much better for that though. Alright. And once again, there's looking up at the last site. I'm going to call it site number 5 for the sake of the video, but it is PCG1 though, is the actual site name, and what you'll find on the reservation site too. So there you go. Those are the 5 sites here in the Port Clinton tract of Weiser State Forest. I'm pretty sure there's just 5 sites. If I missed one, I guess I'll have to come back and film that one too, but yeah. As I said below, as I said earlier, let me know below in the comments if I could talk, which site you like the best. I'm choosing number 4. I just think that one might be a really neat site. Like I said, I camped on number 3. I like 3. It's my second choice, but number 4, I just think it'd be cool. Not just for myself, but for the sake of a video to catch like both the sunrise and the sunset on that little opening in the back there. But anyway, like I said, let me know which one you like the best. And hopefully, if you ever decide to camp in this area, this gives you an idea of what the campsites look like. And also, I do plan to do much more of these. You can let me know in the comments too what you think of a video like this. Does this help you decide where to camp, or you want to see more of these? But I think either way, I'm going to do more of them. So I think maybe I think we might be in Michaud State Forest next to do one of these. But anyway, it's cold out here. I'm going to get back in a warm Jeep. As always, folks, thanks for coming along, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. And hopefully this was helpful to you as well.